I woke up on Thanksgiving morning, weak from the flu, to a silent, empty house. My son, daughter, and daughter-in-law had abandoned me for a luxury trip to Aspen. So I made one phone call to the bank and had their credit cards frozen mid-vacation. This is where the story truly begins, and you won't want to miss what happens. Make sure you're subscribed to see it through to the end. We're always curious. Where in the world are you all watching from today? Let us know in the comments. The first thing I registered was the silence. It was a heavy, unnatural quiet for 8 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. The scent of roasting turkey and my daughter-in-law's too-sweet perfume, which usually permeated the house by now, was absent. I pulled my robe tighter. I'd been in bed for 3 days with a nasty bout of the flu, the kind that leaves your bones aching, and I'd been looking forward to the sounds of family to lift my spirits. "Mark," I called out, my voice raspy. "Claire." Nothing, only the hum of the refrigerator. I shuffled out of my room, leaning against the hallway wall for support. The house was cold. In the kitchen, a single piece of paper was propped against the coffee machine. It wasn't a Happy Thanksgiving card. It was a note, scrawled in my son Mark's familiar, messy script. "Mom, Chloe found an amazing last-minute deal for Aspen. Didn't want to pressure you to travel while you're so sick. We'll be back Sunday. Leftovers are in the fridge. Happy Thanksgiving. M, C, and C." My knees felt weak and not from the flu. Aspen. They had all gone, my son Mark, my daughter Claire, and Mark's wife, Chloe, on a luxury trip. They had left me sick and alone on Thanksgiving. I sank into a kitchen chair, the cold tile seeping through my slippers. The leftovers were from Monday. They hadn't even cooked. I looked at the note again, at the breezy, casual cruelty of it. "We'll bring you back a souvenir." The betrayal was worse than the diagnosis itself. I spent the first hour in a fog of disbelief and profound hurt. I tried to call them. Mark's phone went straight to voicemail. Claire's did the same. I imagined them on a plane, sipping mimosas in first class, laughing. Had they even packed, I went to their rooms. All 3 of their suitcases were gone. Their winter coats, the expensive ones I'd bought them last Christmas, were gone. This wasn't last minute. This was a calculated plan they had hidden from me while I lay sick in my bed. My daughter Claire, that stung the most. She was a teacher, usually so empathetic. How could she agree to this? My anger began to simmer, burning away the shock. I made myself a cup of tea, my hands shaking. As I sat at the table, I noticed the mail pile. On top was the latest statement for the supplementary credit card I'd given Mark for emergencies only. He was an entrepreneur, which meant he was perpetually between big ideas and completely dependent on me. I opened it. The charges were staggering. Aspen Skies Chalet, $14,000. First Class Air, $6,200. Alpine Private Dinners, $3,500. All booked 3 weeks ago. My generosity, my desire to see my children comfortable, had been twisted into a weapon against me. They were using my own money to abandon me. As I stared at the balance, a cold resolve settled over me. They thought I was just a frail, sick old woman. But I was a retired accountant who had managed millions in assets. They had forgotten one crucial thing. My late husband, David, and I had built our lives from nothing. He was an engineer, and I was the accountant who made sure every penny he earned worked for us. We'd sacrificed for decades to give our children the life we never had. Private schools, paid-for college tuitions, generous down payments on their first homes. Even after David passed, I continued that legacy. I wanted them to be happy. Mark, my son, had always been a dreamer, which I admired but which Chloe, his wife, had twisted into entitlement. Chloe was an influencer, a vague profession that seemed to involve taking photos of expensive things. She was polished and sleek, but her eyes were cold. From the day she'd married Mark, she'd viewed me as a bank, not a mother-in-law. Her compliments were always aimed at my assets. "Lucy, this house is just classic. You must tell me who handles your estate." Or, "Mark is so lucky to have such a supportive mother." I'd seen the way she looked at my jewelry, her gaze lingering a second too long. Claire, my daughter, was different, or so ID thought. She was kind, a wonderful teacher, but she was weak-willed. She'd always been steamrolled by her older brother and his domineering wife. I could see the plan forming in my mind's eye, Chloe planting the seed, Mark justifying it, and Claire going along, probably telling herself it was for the best so they wouldn't get me sicker. The betrayal from all three, orchestrated by Chloe, felt like a physical weight. The passive victim was gone, replaced by accountant. My mind, so foggy with fever, was now sharp with a singular, icy purpose. I wasn't just going to get angry, I was going to get methodical. I looked at the credit card statement again. The charges were blatant, exorbitant, and clearly not emergencies. They were a flagrant abuse of my trust. The clever trap was already in my hand. It was the platinum card with Mark's name on it, linked directly to my primary account. They saw it as an endless river of money. I saw it as a chain I could pull. I waited. I let them have their travel day. I let them check into their $14,000 chalet. I imagined them unpacking, Chloe already filming content for her followers, Mark ordering room service, Claire perhaps feeling her first real pang of guilt as she looked out at the beautiful, snow-covered mountains. I waited until 7 p.m., right when they'd be sitting down for their expensive private dinner. Then I picked up the phone. I didn't call the bank's main line. I called the direct number for the fraud and high-value accounts department, a number I knew by heart. Amex Platinum Fraud Department, this is Julia. Hello, Julia, I said, my voice calm and steady. My name is Lucy Miller. I need to report a series of highly suspicious, unauthorized charges on my supplementary card. It appears my card information has been compromised. Compromised? Julia the agent asked, her tone instantly serious. Yes, I said. I'm looking at charges for an entire luxury vacation in Aspen. First-class flights, a chalet, expensive dinners. I am currently at home, quite ill. I certainly did not authorize a $14,000 hotel booking. I see the charges, Mrs. Miller, and the supplementary card is in the name of a Mark Miller. My son, I said, letting a small, frail waver enter my voice. I'm so worried. He's supposed to be here for Thanksgiving. I'm afraid someone might have stolen his card and is impersonating him. That was all it took. Julia was incredible. Ma'am, I am so sorry you're dealing with this. I am locking the card and all associated supplementary cards right now. Nothing else will go through. We will cancel this card number and launch a full investigation into these charges. Oh, thank you, I said. Thank you so much. I hung up and sighed a quiet checkmate. I gave it 30 minutes. Right on schedule, my phone lit up. It was Mark. I let it ring twice, then answered. Mom, thank God, something's wrong with the card. He sounded panicked, breathless. We're at dinner and it was declined. They said it's frozen. Can you call the bank? It's embarrassing. The card? I asked, feigning confusion. Oh dear, Mark, I just got off the phone with them. I had to report it. Someone stole your card information and charged a fortune in Aspen. There was dead silence on the line. Then Chloe's shrill voice in the background. What is she talking about? Tell her. Mom, what? No, we're in Aspen, that was us. You, I asked, a needle of ice in my tone. You charged $25,000 to my emergency card, without asking me. It was a deposit, Mom. We were going to pay you back, Mark stammered. Pay me back? With what, Mark? Your big idea? I could hear Chloe screaming at him in the background to fix it. Mom, please, you have to unfreeze it. The hotel is. They're saying we have to pay the full amount now or they won't let us stay. I can't unfreeze it, Mark, I said simply. It's in the middle of a fraud investigation. My hands are tied. I didn't even have to lie. You used my card without authorization for a non-emergency. That is the definition of the term. You'll have to find another way to pay. I hung up. The next call came an hour later, this time from Claire. She was sobbing. Mom, please, I'm so sorry. This is a nightmare. Chloe is screaming at the hotel manager. They're threatening to call the police if we don't settle the bill. We don't have that kind of money. Mark's cards are all declined. Did you know about this, Claire? I asked, my voice flat. I knew we were going, she whispered, but I didn't know Mark put it all on your card. I thought he'd saved up. Mom, please, we're stranded. The full statement is on the kitchen table. Claire, I said, go look at it when you get home. See what your brother and his wife feel entitled to. See the trip you chose over your sick mother. I forwarded a digital copy of the bill to her phone. The string of charges, spa treatments, $800 on a ski-wear, shopping spree, bottle service at the bar, all from that very day. The line went quiet as she read it. I'm not fixing this for you, I said, and hung up. The final call came at 11 p.m. It was a video chat. My phone screen lit up with Mark's name. I answered. The scene was chaotic. They were in the chalet's opulent lobby. I could see polished wood and a grand stone fireplace behind them. Mark's face was pale and sweaty. Chloe was beside Hi. Her makeup streaked with tears of rage, her mask of perfection shattered. Claire was huddled on a lobby sofa, weeping. A stoic hotel manager stood beside them. Mom, Mark begged, the manager is right here. He's going to evict us. We have nowhere to go. Please, just for tonight, just tell them you'll pay. Chloe lunged for the phone. You did this, she shrieked, her voice echoing in the lobby. I saw other guests turn to look. You hateful old woman, you couldn't stand to see us happy. You ruined our Thanksgiving. I ruined it, I asked, my voice dangerously calm. Or did you, Chloe? When you stole $25,000 from me, when you convinced my children to abandon their sick mother on a holiday, did you think I was too stupid to notice? Too weak to do anything about it? The manager cleared his throat. Ma'am, are you going to be settling this bill? Absolutely not, I said, looking right at him. These are 3 adults who traveled on a stolen line of credit. They are not my responsibility. Mark looked utterly broken. Mom, please, how are we supposed to get home? Claire finally looked up, her face red. Mom, she's right, we did this. I'm so sorry. That was the only thing I'd needed to hear. I will not pay for your luxury, Mark. I will not pay for Chloe's delusions. Your emergency is that you're embarrassed in front of rich people. I looked at Claire. I will book you 3 one-way, non-refundable, economy class tickets home. They will be for Sunday. How you pay for your hotel until then, or your food, is your problem. The downfall was swift. They were, as I heard later from Claire, unceremoniously evicted from the chalet. They spent the next 2 nights in a cheap motel near the airport, living on vending machine snacks. The flight home was, I'm told, silent and excruciating. I was waiting for them. When they walked in, they looked defeated. Chloe went straight to the guest room and slammed the door. Mark stood in the foyer, unable to meet my eyes. Claire just dropped her bag and started crying again, apologizing over and over. I let her cry, then I laid out the new terms. Mark and Chloe had 30 days to move out. The emergency card was, of course, gone forever. Their access to my accounts was revoked. I was changing my will to put everything in a trust, managed by a third party. But Mom, Mark whispered, where will we go? That, I said, handing him an eviction notice I'd had a lawyer draft, is your problem to solve. You are an entrepreneur, after all. Go build something. It was a long, hard winter. Mark and Chloe moved into a tiny apartment, and I heard he finally got a real job in sales. I began to rebuild my relationship with Claire. It was slow. It took months of therapy for both of us and long, difficult conversations. She had to earn back my trust, and she did, bit by bit, showing me with actions, not words, that she was truly sorry. The following Thanksgiving, it was just the 2 of us. We cooked a small turkey, and she didn't leave my side. As we sat down to eat, I felt a sense of peace. The house was quiet again, but this time it wasn't the silence of betrayal. It was the silence of justice.